and they are just amazing. Tomatillos. This is a tomatillo plant, and they are about 6.5 feet tall right now. They grow in these little pouches here, or not sure what you would call them. July 31st, 2012, and this morning we're going to build a little structure to support my tomatoes. I could go out and buy some tomato cages, but hey, those are kind of expensive, and I have some materials here that I got for free, and free is, well, really, really good for me at this point. So we're going to build something out of some 2x2 posts, some screws, and some twine to kind of help them be supported, and hopefully that'll help the plants yield tons and tons of tomatoes in the next month or so. But those are the posts back there in the background that I'm going to be using, and what I'm going to be supporting is these plants here. And like I said, they're loaded with fruit. Every branch has just lots and lots of tomatoes. And it seems like every day they get about twice the size. So, alright, so I went ahead and finished this tomato cage, and so far I think it turned out pretty good. I have lots and lots of tomato plants, and for next year I am going to really think about their placement and their spacing, to not make the mistakes that I made this year. But you know, overall this season has been really cool. I've learned so much stuff. So the tomato cage here is pretty basic. It's just 2x2 posts attached to my raised bed. The twine here is wrapped all the way around, and it's attached to some 2-inch screws all the way up and down on every post, making kind of a boxing ring here. I also added a couple pieces of twine going diagonally on the inside here, kind of supporting 2 plants that are in the center. They're starting to get loaded with tomatoes, so definitely need some support in there. Overall, I think this will do for this year. These are not going to get very tall. They're only going to get roughly about 4 feet tall, and this should be enough of support. They are, however, loaded with tomatoes, and I may have to add some more twine as they grow larger and larger, but for now this will have to do. Well, in tomatoes, I have tomatoes of just about every shape and size coming in. Everything from little cherries to some larger beefsteak varieties, and some that I have never seen before, which are pretty interesting, and I'll go over those here in a second. These tomatoes here are shaped more, they're a little bit longer. They were looking kind of pear-shaped, but as they get bigger, they're starting to develop this long body here, and this plant, I'm not sure what variety is, but it is a high producer. There are tomatoes everywhere on every single branch along the entire plant, so it's a pretty good variety. This is something that I'm definitely going to have to repeat for next year. So we have tomatoes that are nice and round, also just a little bit over. We have some interestingly striped and shaped tomatoes. These are they're shaped more, a little more flat. They have a few ridges. And these tomatoes back here are very interesting. They have all these ridges that are really pronounced. They're more of a star shape, and not quite as flat as some of the other ones. Some of these other tomato plants that I have are just enormous. Some of these are about 8 feet tall, and they are just simply loaded with tomatoes. They're everywhere. Uh, these are more of a grape type of tomato here. I'm hoping this is as big as they're going to get, but I doubt it. I have some larger, rounder, kind of the classic tomato. Some that are already ripening, and they're more of a plum shape type of tomato. All right, I really got to show you something here. This is something very exciting for me because I've never grown this, and I've only seen them at the store or ate them with different dishes, but I've never grown some before, and they are just amazing. Tomatillos. This is a tomatillo plant, and they are about 6.5 feet tall right now. They grow in these little pouches here, or not sure what you would call them. They're mostly empty. If you squeeze them, it's just air, but on the very center there's a little fruit growing, and eventually it will take up the entire little bubble here. They are going to be growing a little bigger than this, and I can't wait to harvest some of these. These plants are loaded with them. Not as high producers as some tomato plants, but heck, that's plenty for me. I mean, that's just one branch, and I have lots and lots more all back there, and also have some growing on the corner there. But overall, yeah, this is a really cool plant. I'm really glad I decided to grow them, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be delicious.